After watching Bullet Train, can we get a spin-off with Lemon and Tangerine, please? Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner. Welcome to my review of Bullet Train. Bullet Train is a new action film adapted from a Japanese novel directed by David Leitch starring Brad Pitt. The film follows an unlucky assassin, codenamed Ladybug, played by Brad Pitt, is assigned to collect a briefcase aboard a bullet train while also dealing with other enemies and assassins who have a connection with each other. After I first watched the trailer, I was really looking forward to this film and it was one of my most anticipated movies of the summer. It looked like a blast, I love the cast involved, and David Leitch I find to be a talented action director. And now he is an uncredited co-director on the first John Wick, which is still an awesome movie to this day. But for the films he directed solo, he directed the 2017 action movie Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron. Even though I found the story a little messy in that movie, I found it entertaining. Deadpool 2 I think is a very satisfying sequel. Hobbs and Shaw, despite that I find it to be a forgettable Fast and Furious spin-off, I found enjoyment in. So I was hoping Bullet Train would be the last big, fun blockbuster movie to go see at the theaters. And amidst a pretty underwhelming summer movie-going season in 2022 in my opinion. I saw Bullet Train on Saturday. My review is here. What are my thoughts? Did I enjoy Bullet Train? And the answer, yes. I had a blast with this movie. Let's start with the pros. First, the cast really elevate this movie as a fun ride from start to finish. You can tell everyone cast involved is enjoying every second of being in this movie and really infuse great energy to the material. And knowing exactly what movie this is supposed to be and not take it too seriously. And at the lead, Brad Pitt is great as Ladybug. And this still proves why he's still an iconic movie star and his range as an actor, action, comedy, drama. With his immense charisma, humor, balance of comedy and action, and just how he plays this role of an out-of-luck assassin excellently. And with his stunts and humor in this movie, a part of it did remind me of Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And according to the IMDb trivia, Brad Pitt did 95% of his own stunts in this movie, which is pretty commendable. Especially that Brad Pitt is almost 60 years old and is still excelling at it. And this is not the only time Brad Pitt has worked with David Leitch, and way before his cameo in Deadpool 2 as the Vanisher, which was hilarious. And Pitt has a long working relationship with David Leitch, and David Leitch is not only an action director, but he was a stunt double for Brad Pitt in movies such as Fight Club, Ocean's 11, Troy, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And watching this movie, I can really get a sense of that long working relationship between the two. Now David Leitch just gave this great action role for Brad Pitt and just let him have fun. And a lot of reviews of this movie have been saying it, and I 100% agree. The standouts of this movie are definitely Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry as Lemon and Tangerine, who are so great here. The rousing chemistry, hilarious back and forth banter, comedic timing, and they were such a great and entertaining duo to watch in this movie. And I love their running gag with Thomas the Tank Engine. It was funny for the most part, but there was one particular scene that I found touching involving Thomas the Tank Engine. And I really enjoyed Brian Tyree Henry here, but I gotta be honest, Aaron Taylor Johnson was probably my favorite performance in this movie. I just really enjoyed his screen presence and charisma here, and also his comedic and action chops. And I can see why some executives at Sony picked him to be Kraven the Hunter. And after watching this movie, I'm looking forward to seeing how Aaron Taylor Johnson does as Kraven next year. And David Leitch did a top-notch directing the action scenes in this movie. Watching Bullet Train, it kind of felt like a mix of Guy Ritchie and Quentin Tarantino and also a whodunit mystery like Knives Out. He does some great camera movements where you can see the action and doesn't shake it excessively. Tightly edited action and excellent fight choreography, both with the speed and brutality. And there were definitely some brutal moments in this movie that made me go like, oh my god. And with the direction, this felt like the more Deadpool 2 David Leitch rather than Atomic Blonde. So if you enjoyed his directing in Deadpool 2, I definitely think you're going to enjoy this movie. And with also this being a funny movie with the crude and irreverent humor that might not be for everyone, sadly, I do have some flaws with this movie. I will get to those right now. First, this movie does go on a little bit too long. This film is 2 hours and 7 minutes, and I felt like this movie needed a tighter runtime, I'd say an hour 50 minutes. And that leads to probably my biggest issue with Bullet Train, and that would be the flashbacks. I get why the flashbacks were there just to set up every character, but it did kind of make the story a little bit jumbled, how it connects everything together, like okay, this leads to this leads to this. And I felt like the film overused flashbacks where I felt like the story was a bit jumbled in my opinion. There was even one flashback in the third act I just thought, did we really need a flashback for this? And also there was one scene in the third act with an actor I was really excited to see in this movie. Although he gave an entertaining performance in this movie, one scene with him I felt like was this big exposition dump. I get that the exposition is necessary, but at the same time, okay, this kind of feels like too much to me. And also one scene in the climax, although it was funny, did have some spotty CGI and green screen that was a bit noticeable. In conclusion, despite some pacing issues and some of the flashbacks being overused, Bullet Train still maintains as a funny, frenetic, stylish, relentless, and ludicrous action movie that had me smiling from start to finish. Mostly due to the immensely entertaining cast, in particular Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Brian Tyree Henry, strong direction and style from David Leitch, and exciting action scenes. If you're looking for a movie to have an absolute blast with at the movies and this looks enjoyable to you, definitely go see Bullet Train, as well as on the biggest screen possible. And I think this is one of the most entertaining movies I have seen this summer. And now to grade it, I'm going to give Bullet Train 4 stars out of 5, a B+. I can see why this film has been receiving mixed reviews from critics. Last I checked, this has a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I do recommend watching the movie for yourself and hopefully you might enjoy it. So I'd like to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Bullet Train if you have seen it? Did you agree, disagree with my review? Or if you haven't seen it yet, are you looking forward to film or not? Let me know below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget that notification bell for my next upload. It really means a lot. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner and look forward to another movie review.